just finished up the motor mounts, finished up the steering. Now it's finally time to drop this 500 Cadillac motor in. We're hitting on the steering arm up there. We're hitting on the exhaust. We still gotta get this thing lined up with the center of the car. So we got the motor sitting in there right where we want it. Super easy. I just basically had to weld 2 straight tubes on both sides to the motor mounts. Yep. Don't mind that one missing. Yeah, right thing would probably be to plate that and fully weld around it, but we'll worry about that another day. It should be good enough. And this one I kind of had to get a little creative. Come up, supported it from the bottom. This one from the top here. Yeah, those welds are real nice. I'm a professional. Yikes. This is kind of my first time dealing with a lot of crap in my way for welding, not just welding a couple plates together or some tubing, but yeah, I'm happy with it. It's good enough for who it's for. Whew. Yeah. Let me tell you, trying to fit a 500 in here. Don't recommend. Did I get it? She's there. Hell yeah. Took 2.5 hours to actually get the motor back into where I had it after I welded the mounts. So that was fun. Woo! Another day. Another wrench. So much piddly stuff to get done on this car now. We got it running, kind of. I think there's some plugs I need to put in the intake, and it's just got vacuum leaks everywhere. Kind of the reason why I won't idle, and it's on open headers, so that doesn't help either. No back pressure there. Now I'm going to get the transfer case done. Alright, so what I'm thinking here on this transfer case is to get some plate there, and just kind of like case the transfer case in like that, but allow it to remove. Once I have that, basically I'm going to weld from there to there, basically run a straight bar from frame rail to frame rail to support that on the top side. Is it the best? I don't know, but it's gonna work. Hopefully. I think that might be perfect. We finished up our frame supports there and also our transfer case support. Worked super late last night, kind of mocking that all up, tacking it up. Now we're finishing, putting our finishing welds on it, I suppose. And it's coming out pretty decent. After further inspection, I have come to the conclusion that we had to support the transfer case just a little bit more. So I went ahead, threw in that 3/8 inch thick, like 4x10 or something tubing. Threw 2 braces on both sides, got to finish welding the other side. That transfer case is not going anywhere. We went ahead, we got the rear drive shaft bolted in, our intermediate drive shaft bolted in. The front drive shaft we're having an issue with. It's like the U-joint is the correct size, but those caps aren't actually squeezing down. So it just falls right out. And if you notice, most of your yokes have this little tab here to help hold in whether you're using a U-bolt or whether you're using straps to hold the U-joint. This thing doesn't have anything to prevent the U-joint from sliding out. So that's super weird. Hopefully I can get this removed and source another one tomorrow. Other than that, the front drive shaft's done, ready to bolt in. Put our tie rod ends in the new Y-link for the steering. Pulled a measurement, cut the tube. We're gonna weld this up quick and steering will be 100% done finally. Steering is done. Bolt her in. We got the new high lift steering arm bolted to the top of the knuckle. I got one of the studs out. Currently I'm trying to get this other stud out so we can get the leaf spring actually bolted to the axle. It's a struggle to say the least. And now I'm sitting here with a torch and vice grips and slowly giving it every bit of strength I have in this 100-degree weather to get this out of here. And the reason we gotta change these studs is because with this leaf pack, it's too thick compared to probably a 3 or 4 leaf from the stock. So we got new 5-inch bolts. We gotta get these studs out of here. Hopefully within the next hour. We got our new high steer bracket here with our Y-link. That's all welded up. All right, we're still chucking along on this thing. Got the transmission lines hooked up, got trans fluid going in it now. Kind of the last part on the motor side is the power steering lines, which of course they don't work. But I cut the old fittings off of the power steering pump on the 500, and I got the fittings off the Cadillac gearbox. And I'm going to try and reuse this line here. Just cut it off, put a new double flare on with the fittings that work for that pump and that gearbox. And hopefully have power steering by midnight. You should have known better to stop by, because I'm going to put you to work.
Oh, you know it.
We got Cody here with Allen Innovation and Design. I need help getting all this welded, and he's a professional when it comes to that type of stuff. So he's building the transmission cross member for us now. I trimmed up the exhaust and pulled the transmission over as far as we could so that way it's somewhat straight. Good enough for what it's going to be used for. Hopefully he can knock that out for us. That'll be huge. The car should be running and driving at that point, and then he's going to help with the hitch. Because when we put on 30,000 pounds behind this thing, my welds would probably just rip off and the car would go down the track.
You gotta succeed in doing a wheelie.
Yes.
Which means the hitch can't break off.
It is crunch time on the limo. We got a truck pull in 5 hours, no hitch yet. but we're working on it. I got my dad over there on the chop saw cutting me some steel to reinforce these frame rails. Because basically, they just have this plate on here for the leaf spring. So I'm gonna box all this in, box that in. I got this tow bar that I had laying around, cut the tow part off. Got a receiver here. We'll weld that to that. Weld this to that box frame, support it. 18 million different angles, and hopefully it works. Drilling the holes for the plates in our traction bars. I got the forklift up front. It's already 100 degrees. All of us are dying out here. Getting the wheels bolted on. Cody's got the hitch. Pretty much getting finished up here. It sticks out a little bit more than I'd like, unfortunately, but for what it is, it's gonna work. Basically, we tubed the frame rails on both sides with quarter wall 3x3 or 4x4 tubing. Ran another 1/4 inch rectangular tube across, welded down. Now we're gonna run one from basically kind of the front, back, support it, and we're gonna call that good for right now. I would like to support it a little bit more up to one of our forward cross members, but we don't have time, and that's probably more built than most factory hitches on trucks anyways, so it's gonna work. We need to go ahead and keep moving on to the next project, which is throwing on some traction bars real quick, because like I said, that rear end does that. Finish that up. We got the brakes bled. Brakes are better than any vehicle I got, which I say about every car I do. We're making progress. Oh, quick tip here. If your deep well is too deep, just shove some rocks in there. For these lug holes are like 3 inches deep. You can't even see back there, but yeah, we're making it work. Time's up. We're finishing up the traction bars now. Kind of got a U-joint in. Hitch is done, brakes are done. I think we're gonna bolt the hood on and get it on the trailer so we can get to Maxwell. How park works? It's got a lot of tension on it, I'll tell you that. Why is it continually rolling? Been 15 minutes since it's been off the trailer and you haven't made it to 8 feet to the parking spot. It still doesn't like to turn the best. What's going on? Well, I tell you what, it goes in gear a lot better now that you have the trans lines hooked up, right? Were they wrong? There was three hard lines coming up the frame rail. One of them was a vent line. Did you hook the trans cooler to the fuel tank evap line? She might get a little smoky. Oh God.
Is this your first day, Phoenix?
Yeah.
Hey,
It's always Phoenix's first day.
Every
day is his first day.
I'm trying to put my front axle in low range.
That sounds overly complicated, man. I just got one stick.
That won't go in any.
All the leverage, you can't get that freaking thing in there. It's got 600 foot-pounds on that joint.
We'll see what that does.
Turns left, kinda. I don't know what that is, but that's fine. Well, looks like he's taking around the block. Just gonna pull back and forward like it was. I ain't good at math. I probably never will be, but I don't think that turns right. Oops. We've got some learning to do. Neither of us know shit about steering or suspension. Oh, wait. There's more. Is it always idle that shitty? Like barely?
No, it's right there. It seemed like it was really bad.
Your hood pop easy?
Yeah, it's open.
Okay, I'm gonna go climb around, so we're gonna find.
Okay.
So it's been a few hours. Pretty much everyone's left, which means it's time for us to run. Like I said, we signed up for the open class, which was incorrect, but they were able to fix it, so we explained our obsolescence. What they've done is moved us from the open class to the powder puff class. In other news, I was just putting a GoPro on Phoenix's car and heard this. Sounds like he's got a whole family of mice he's gonna take for a little ride. Love it. Let's go get these damn things lined up and do some truck pulling.
I got rid of all my shit.
All right, well, we all broke shit. What'd you break, despite not moving?
I don't have to owe you.
I don't owe you shit for beer.
I buy everybody beer tonight because they all help me. But yeah, I got all the way back here. Steering wheel just does that, and everything's still hooked up.
Weird.
So I don't know.
Or you lost your rag joint.
Possibly, I never did check that.
That'd make more sense.
and then
Because your steering box would still stop at its internal limit.
very well could be. And
In
it would rev up
1972.
fine, but as soon as it in gear, I couldn't even get to 2,000 RPM.
Under
So
load.
it's just gone.
Weird.
But, oh,
Might just not have enough bottom end.
It's a little too rich.
Bottom
Maybe.
end to turn those 47.
You're not going to
It
spin them
was
up if they're
pop,
rich
pop.
because it was. I think it was over fueling and
You'd think it
There's also
would
nothing that says there wouldn't be something wrong with that distributor too.
that could be.
throw all the HEIs away, kids. Well,
We still had fun. I think the crowd enjoyed just driving it by.
blast.
So
there's good news yet, Phoenix.
what's that?
The season's not done for truck pulling.
That is true.
So
Make some changes and try it again.
try it again.
After further inspection, we figured out what happened with the gearbox. It sheared the bolts off. It didn't even bend that. It broke all the bolts, so it's just hanging there. Well, we went out, we gave it all we had, and it just wouldn't tear the tires. I don't know, it revs up fine, but as soon as it's under load in gear, it just sit there and hiccup like it was getting way too much fuel. The ignition could be bad. We have all the different spark plug wires on. Get this thing running and actually put some drive time under it before we go to something. But with that being said, guys, hope you enjoyed the video and watching us build this crazy car, and we'll see you next week.